Do you know someone who's visually impaired or blind and you're not quite sure what to get them because you're afraid of offending them or you're afraid of getting them something that won't work well for them?
My name is Angela and I'm a visually impaired designer.
Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Hope you're all having a fantastic week. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my top 15 ideas for gifts that you can give to someone who's an adult who's visually impaired or blind. These gift ideas could work for people who are also sighted, but I came up with ideas that were geared towards gifts for people who are visually impaired and blind. I'll put links to the specific items that I talk about in this video in my description below, so if you want to check any of those out, you can. Last week I did 20 gift ideas for visually impaired or blind children. So if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. You might find some gift ideas that are helpful. And next week I'll be talking about some different ideas of board games and card games that work well to be inclusive of those who are visually impaired and blind. I'm very excited about this video because I love playing games, and game design is something that I find very interesting. If you're enjoying this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel below so you can see notifications for future videos. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the different ideas. The first gift idea I have for you is engraved or tactile jewelry. So a common gift that people like to give that's thoughtful and can be kind of cute is giving jewelry. There's a lot of options for jewelry out there that are very tactile, and I would say steer clear of jewelry that's more focused on the visual but are more focused on the texture and the feel of it. So this could be jewelry that's focused on beads, or like if it's engraved or specifically made so that it is tactile. My second gift idea is an oil diffuser, or if it's someone who doesn't necessarily like oils, it could be a certain perfume smell or a cologne that the person really likes. It could be a candle that smells really good. This gift idea focuses on the sense of smell, which doesn't require eyes at all, and it can be enjoyed by anyone. My next idea is a Contigo mug. So I know that a common gift people like to give is like a mug or something that someone can enjoy, like hot chocolate or coffee or tea or whatever their preference is. Well, when it comes to people who are visually impaired or blind, I picked out this specific mug because it locks on its own. So if it gets tipped over, because people tend to be accident prone when they're trying to fill around for their mug or whatever, this is a great one because you can still give them a mug and make them feel included, but they're less likely to spill it or have accidents with the hot water, which can become a disaster. So I think this is a great idea if you want to do something simple like a mug. My next idea is a throw blanket. Now this seems like a common, more generic gift that is something that people give, but I would say finding one that has a nice texture or is super fluffy or soft is really a gift that can be enjoyed by anyone, and it just feels so good and cozy. My next idea is giving someone a knitting kit. Maybe they've expressed that they want to try something new, and so knitting is something that can be enjoyed by anyone. It's all based on the touch of how it feels. You don't have to necessarily be able to see it. It's going to be a lot better for someone who's visually impaired or blind than having to thread a needle or seeing more refined things that just use thread instead of yarn. One of the most difficult things I have found for me is being able to thread a needle, and so the idea of using yarn, which is larger scale, I really like that idea. My next idea is getting someone a Nintendo Switch. Now you might think this is a gift more for a child, but adults can also enjoy playing the Nintendo. Not only does the Nintendo Switch act as a console for playing video games, but it can also be used for other applications. I picked the Nintendo Switch specifically because they have accessibility settings that work well for people who are visually impaired. It has a screen reader, which can help you use the menu and to get to the specific games. There are some games that work better for people who are visually impaired than other games, and this might be a surprise to you that there are people who are blind and visually impaired who play video games, but it shouldn't be surprising. There's ways to adapt and to make it so that it's fun. You can magnify on it, it can speak for you. And I think that the Nintendo Switch is nice because you can either hand hold it so you can see it and hold it up as close as you need to, or you can project it onto a large screen and you can kind of choose which way you want to view it. I also think that an Xbox would be a good option as well, because Microsoft has taken really good care at making sure that their products work well for people who have disabilities. Now, my next idea is definitely something that I want, and that is a pressure cooker. A pressure cooker can do so many things in one, and it's a really simple way to cook and get really good meals without having to do a lot of different steps and using different tools and lots of preparation. Cooking is definitely something that people who are visually impaired have a harder time doing, because it can be hard when you're using heat and having to move things around and chop things with a knife and all. And so having this tool to help with cooking is definitely a good idea in my book, and I am excited to get a pressure cooker here soon. Now, my next idea is getting someone an Audible subscription. So people who are visually impaired and blind can really enjoy reading books, but listening to someone read it to them, because then they don't have to strain their eyes. And I did a whole video on why I think audiobooks are so great for people who are visually impaired. I'll make sure to link it for you above. But I think that getting someone a subscription so that they have access to books that they want is a great idea. You could also gift them a specific book that's an audiobook if you already know they have a subscription that they have going on. My next idea is getting someone a gift card. Now, it could be for an audiobook, it could be an iTunes gift card so they can listen to music, or whatever place you know that they enjoy and they would really like a gift card. I know for me, I love getting gift cards because then I get to really pick what I want as a gift. This can be a great option for someone who don't quite know as well and you're not sure exactly what they want, because then they can really just pick for themselves. My next gift idea is getting some kind of smart device like an Alexa or a Google device. These voice-activated devices can be very helpful to someone who's visually impaired because you can interact with it with just your voice. You don't have to worry about seeing anything. They can help you do tasks. And so I've found that my Alexas are very helpful, and I use it on a daily basis doing quite a bit of tasks. My next idea goes along with the idea of a smart device. So this would be getting things that will support with the smart device. So like smart bulbs, a thermostat that works with one of these devices, or any other kind of gadget that works well with the Alexa or the Google or whatever one you decide to go with. This way, you're giving them more independence by making it so that they can use their smart device to do things, because then they can access it all in one place on their phone or with their smart device speaking, and it's going to be less stressful to them. All right, my next idea is a tile locator. So this is just a little device that's a Bluetooth device that you can either put on a keychain, you can attach it to a bag, or any type of place that you want it to be. So maybe they would want to put it on their keys so they don't lose their keys, or a specific backpack, a purse, or even luggage when you're traveling. This can be really helpful to someone who's visually impaired because they can't see where things are being placed. It's going to be helpful because then they can hear a beeping sound and help them locate their device, possibly faster than having to feel around for things. I know for me, I lose stuff a lot. Even if I can see them, I just think the idea of being able to find my stuff more easily through a Bluetooth device, that sounds fantastic. All right, so my next couple of ideas are about cultivating hobbies, helping them find new ones, or expanding existing ones. So one idea is to get someone a kayak. Now, kayaking is something that I've recently got into. My sister has kayaks, and I think that it's a very fun, relaxing activity. Because it's a more leisurely activity, it can be less stressful. It's easy to do with another person, and so if one person can see and the other one can't see, great. That can also help. You also don't necessarily need to be able to see, because you can feel if you're going to run into anything with your oar, and it's just a relaxing activity that someone who's visually impaired might enjoy. The last two ideas are instruments. So a piano is a great instrument for someone who's visually impaired. There's no reason why they can't learn how to play the piano. It's very tactile, and you can learn how to play the piano without having to see it. There are ways to get around having to see music, so some people can just learn by hearing, some people can magnify it or print the music larger, so it'd just be up to them to decide what works best for them to learn specific music. But having a piano keyboard where you can express yourself through music can be relaxing and also a very nice hobby. My last idea is getting someone a guitar or a ukulele. Now, I like this idea because it's similar along the idea of learning an instrument and being able to touch it and play some music that you can hear. It can be relaxing, it can be a nice hobby, and it gives someone a way to express themselves. It's definitely an activity that can be enjoyed by anyone. Now, I hope that you found some of these ideas helpful, and maybe you were able to find a gift or get started on an idea of a gift you could give someone who's visually impaired who's an adult. Make sure to comment below which ideas you like the most and any ideas that you think I missed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel below so that you can see my future videos, including the video next week about board games and card games that work well for people who are visually impaired. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye!